This video, I'm going to show you how to make sure your website is running 24/7 with better uptime. And why is something like this important? Why should you consider using software like BetterTime? And there's a bunch of other solutions out there, but I'll get into that a little bit later. Um, the reason why you want to do that is simply because if your website is down, you're losing money, you're losing potential customers, you're losing the ability to answer a question for an existing customer and better serve them. So, in a nutshell, your website is kind of like a 24-hour salesperson that's available and giving information and hopefully converting potential customers into customers. That's why this software is super important. So let's have a look at what it looks like in the actual software. So here's my account dashboard, and the way it works, and this is just a high level overview of how it works, but I want to give you an idea of what it looks like. So you essentially create a monitor in here, and I really like Better Uptime because the UI is very clean, it's simple, and easy to get things done. So here, what you would do is enter the URL that you want to monitor, or you can import a bulk list of URLs, and then you could get alerted based off of when the website becomes available, when it doesn't contain a keyword, and so forth. And then I think this is a pretty cool feature is that whenever there's some sort of incident, so your website is unavailable, right? Then you can send a phone call and also an SMS or an email. And you can also send to an entire team. So that's pretty interesting. If you have like a dev team, you have a calendar, you can sync with that calendar and then notify your team that way. So that's the way it works. The use case that I'm using it for is to make sure that the landing pages that I'm using for client campaigns are up and running. If they're not up for whatever reason that's outside of my control, I want to go in there and just shut them off. That's I think that in itself is a great reason to get some kind of service like this. It's usually kind of like an afterthought to make sure we take it for granted. I think that's why we consider it an afterthought. That sure, our client's website or our business websites, up and running 100% of the time. And the reality is that there are some cases where your website can go down. So we want to be alerted of that, and we want to make decisions based off of that to number one, save money wherever we can. So that means like pausing campaigns, that kind of stuff. And then the other thing is to quickly notify the dev team with the description of the issue. So for instance, Better Uptime sends a screenshot and the error log so that a dev person could go in there and resolve the issue immediately. So let's have a look at the pricing now. So the pricing is pretty reasonable compared to a lot of the other services on the market. So Better Uptime has done a pretty good job of doing kind of like a compare versus other players in the market, and have a look at the use cases if that's something that you're interested in. And if you decide to go with something like Better Time, consider using my link. It doesn't cost you anything extra. I get a small commission out of it, and it helps me create more of these videos. So I use it for my clients, and I think you should too. I think it's a good value for the money, and that's always on the top of my mind whenever I consider different software solutions. So hopefully you found this useful. If you have any questions or comments, throw them in the comments below, and I'll do my best to get to them.